Happy New Year! What's up, hoodies? How y'all doing? How y'all New Year's going so far? It is January 3rd, the third day of the new year. And I hope everybody is having a wonderful start to their new year. I hope everybody had a nice holiday as far as Christmas, as far as New Year's. Hell, we'll just go back as far as Thanksgiving. I hope your entire holiday season has been good to you and your family. And again, I hope you're having a blessed new year so far and everything's going great for each and every one of you. All my hoodies. And please, you guys, on your way in, make sure you please like, share, and subscribe. Especially if you are not already subscribed to the Hood Table, please like, share, and subscribe. Please, thank you very, very, very much. Now, as far as New Year's go, you guys, I don't know if any of you are really big on New Year's resolutions or things like that. I used to be before I knew better. For years, I used to set a New Year's resolution, and I always failed. I always failed. So, I can't remember the last time I actually made a New Year's resolution and was really serious about it. So basically, I just try to focus on, spending more time with family. Try to do a little traveling since we haven't traveled. We haven't really traveled since the beginning of the Rona. Just try to love on each other more. Focus on my family. Focus on my platform. And my backup channels and things like that. Try to bring you guys the best content that I can bring you guys in 2023 because the Hood Table is growing, you guys, and we are expanding. And I'm very proud of the platform. It might not be as big as a lot of other people's, but I am very proud of the Hood Table. And I appreciate all my supporters, subscribers, friends, family, each and every one of you guys. So you guys, we're just going to talk a little bit about some update information that they're putting out slowly about these four Idaho college students who allegedly were murdered by Bryan Kohberger. I hope I'm saying that right. Kohberger, whatever. I'm going to play this video real quick, and we're going to do a little commentary on this video. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And then we're going to talk a little bit about some things that I saw on the internet regarding this story. Okay, let me put a screen up here. There we go. Let me hit mute.
Let's bring in retired Connecticut police officer and former homicide detective Bryan Foley. Bryan, good morning. My first question, I want to go right to it. Kohberger was allegedly threatening guards from his Pennsylvania jail cell with other inmates, reportedly claiming he screamed, quote, "I cut them, I'll cut you. You come in here and I'll cut you." How and will these types of comments, could these hold up in court to potentially bring a conviction?
Well, that's the first I've heard of that. And yes, they can be used against him, providing there wasn't a cop in that cell initiating those types of comments out of him. You better believe he's been read his rights, and anything he says can and will be used against him. All those cells, based on everything that's happened with security and people dying in police custody, all of them have video, all of them have recordings, and that will come out. Look at the defense attorney will have a lot to say about that, as well as to the duress that he was under to say those types of things. But that's you can bet the detectives are jotting that down, time and place when that happens.
Ashley asked the lawyer question on that. I'm going to ask the psychiatrist question on that. What does that behavior tell you? First, those comments, and two, basically what the inmate said about him, his behavior behind bars.
Look, obviously there's a lot of deep issues there, and while I'm no psychiatrist, to look at the crimes that were committed, I like to use the term, obviously everyone else does, a serial killer, or I like to use psychological type murders here that somebody initiated. This is not a stable person. This is an erratic person. This is all information the detectives are going to use. They'll bring in experts into court. With that warrant coming, the warrant's not going to have a lot of the beef in it, but this is certainly combating his behavior. Everything. I mean, even when you make a 911 call, that's recorded, and you hear that come up in cases all the time. What's being said in cells? They'll intentionally put other prisoners in cells that are working as informants for police. That's not the case here, but I'm saying that those types of utterances in jails are used in crime or in the trial moving forward.
Yeah, and to follow up on Todd's point, in that same report from the same inmate, she said that she's alleging that Kohberger tried to expose himself to her while she was in a cell close to him. So that goes to the behavior point that you were talking about, Bryan. What are your thoughts on Kohberger really saying that, over and over, that he expects to be exonerated?
Welcome to the chat, everyone. Hey, Vibrant. Hey, it's Marcus and Doreena's Blessed. Hey, how you guys doing? I just want to stop it right there, and you guys can add in your little add in your comments, or if you have some feedback or commentary to give on this situation that a lot of the country is focusing on, as far as when it comes to these 4 slain Idaho college students and the suspect who they allege was responsible for their slayings. Now, they're trying to say now that somebody in jail with him is saying basically that he's admitting, so to say, that he did do these crimes. Threatening them, saying, I slashed them, or I cut them, and I'll cut you, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, I hope that they are getting this on recording, because we all know that a lot of times when people come to jail, people come to prison, and it's a high-profile case, a lot of times we know that there are other inmates who will come forward and say what they heard another inmate say in order to strike a deal. So I really hope that if he is coming, if he's saying this information, which is just crazy to me, I find it hard to believe, not saying it's not true, but I do find it hard to believe that he would immediately get locked up and start saying that type of stuff to other inmates in jail. And as far as the inmates or employees. Now the female said that, or the lady said that he also tried to flash her or show himself to her or something like this. This is very odd behavior for him, just from what we've read. Like, from what the police are saying, this man is really smart, maybe not smart enough, because if he is alleged to be if he is really the culprit, if he is really the person behind these the slayings of these 4 students, then I guess he isn't really smart. But they're saying he has all this education on how to cover up crimes. Yes, he does. I agree. He does. He does look kind of suspect. And I'm not saying that they had a wrong person, because the police obviously have all kind of evidence. It was just weird that they would say this now that he's basically admitting this to people in jail, when he spent all this time. Like, if you look at the most current updates on him, they're saying that this guy, that he wore gloves everywhere. Like, they had investigators following him around in Pennsylvania for quite some time. Now, this is when they were still asking everybody to send in video footage. If they seen anything, if they heard anything. This was when they had all those white cars that they were investigating, trying to find out which car, I think, what was it, an Acura or something like that he was driving, when they was trying to figure out which car it was that they saw in the cameras in the middle of the night. I mean, it just seemed like they had no leads at all. First of all, it seemed like they had no leads at all, besides like this car that was seen on video footage around the area of where those 4 students live. So they're saying that basically when they were following him, when they had investigators following him. They said that he wore gloves everywhere. They said he even went into like a giant and he wore gloves, like he would wear gloves for hours, like not like winter gloves or something like that, but you know, gloves. Hold on, let me read this to you guys real quick. Hold on. Okay. Now, I'll also keep in mind that his family thinks that they nabbed the wrong person. His family thinks that they have the wrong person. But we'll get back to that. But, okay, so as far as the suspect, Bryan Kohberger, they're saying that basically he was wearing gloves to prevent his fingerprints from being discovered, to not leave any fingerprints behind on anything, anywhere. And he also had visited a brewery in Pennsylvania where he was making disrespectful comments to people. Now, what they witnessed was Bryan Kohberger appearing to not leave any DNA or fingerprints from places he visited, which includes public areas. And a friend of one of the police officers assigned to follow him in Pennsylvania described him as very, very careful. They said a good friend of ours was one of the cops who has been following him the last couple of days. The source explained of their connection to the surveillance on Kohberger in Pennsylvania. He followed him into a giant and wore gloves the entire time. Now, is that odd? Is that strange? Especially if it's wintertime and you stay in one of these very, very cold states. Like we live in Nebraska, I live in Omaha. So if I go into a grocery store, yeah, I probably have my gloves on, you know, the entire time I'm in there. Probably, you know, unless I got to like pull out my wallet or, you know, debit card or whatever. But they said that he was wearing gloves everywhere he went, even in public areas. And it also says that additionally, the unidentified source, which is the friend of the cops, also claims also we don't even know if this is a cop. I will hope it's a cop. I will hope it's a private investigator or something like that. I hope the cop really didn't have his friend, just a normal friend or relative or a homie or something like that following him. So I'm assuming that it probably was an actual cop or an investigator. Why they keep saying friend of the cops. And hey, what's up, Joy Barnes? Doreen. She said true. Doreen said true. And Joy Barnes says, what's up, Table Mods in chat? Thank y'all for coming through this morning while we're just doing a little update on the Idaho murder suspect, who is basically claiming innocence. His family is also saying his family is shocked. Like they don't believe for 1 second that their family member committed these heinous crimes. I don't know. And if you guys are just coming in, we watched a little video clip of somebody in jail where he is saying that he told them that he cut those people, those college students, and that he'll cut them too. Again, I hope they got this recorded on surveillance because I don't know exactly who said it in jail. If it was somebody, another inmate, we know how it goes. Sometimes they like to, you know, get some reduced time or, you know, get some type of special favors if they give up details on other inmates. And they also said that they did not have anybody like undercover on there, or they did not have any rats or anything in the location where he ate. So it's not like they have somebody on their that's somebody in their pockets or they're in somebody's pockets that, you know, sometimes, you know, they pay inmates to basically squeal other inmates. They said this is not the case. He volunteered this information, which again, I find it just, I don't know. I don't know, for some reason, I just find it hard to believe that he was so meticulous trying to cover himself, learning everything that he can, allegedly, in college, in these classes about forensics, DNA, crimes, things like that, wearing gloves everywhere, including public areas, grocery stores, all the time. And then he gets in jail and says, I cut them and I'll cut you too. I don't know. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Mickey Beaverson. Am I saying that right? Mickey Beaverson said fake news. If you think he had a cellie, this is the biggest case in the USA. Use your mind. Who said he had a cellie? Sound like a troll, so I'm gonna block you. Ain't nobody in here said he had a cellmate. Ain't nobody said that. But anyway, child, the pros get up early in the morning, child. They get up early in the morning. They ain't got shit to do. So anyway, so as I was saying, so this is just a little bit of the update information that I came across for this person that they say killed these 4 college students. Again, his parents said they don't believe it to be him. They can't believe it. The family members are shocked. They said this is completely out of his character. They said the allegations they're unbelievable to them. And they said they're really trying to be supportive because there are 4 families here who lost loved ones. 4 families have suffered losses. These college students have families, they have friends, they have fellow students who they were going to school with. A lot of people is mourning for these 4 families. And so his family, who just cannot fathom that he would do this type of crime, they're still trying to be understanding and supportive because of families, because they understand that they have lost. But in situations like that, where you know there are families who have been murdered or injured or whatnot at the hands of allegedly someone who might be your relative or your loved one, your husband, wife, child, or whatever, they're saying basically, I guess anybody can feel that way. If somebody said your son murdered all these people, it's kind of hard to be sympathetic to both sides when you really, really, really think that your loved one did not do it. But you also have to be like, damn, whoever did that mess is messed up. And if your loved one did do it, it's messed up. So it's kind of hard to be in that situation where you truly believe that your loved one did not commit the crime. Now, Joy Barnes said, right, it makes no sense that he would confess to an inmate, but he does look crazy as shit. Yeah, he does. I wonder if the police got a crazy filter. Child, I don't know, but yeah, his family, they believe that he's going to be exonerated. He also believes Bryan, the second, the alleged, murderer. He also believes that he's going to be exonerated. He also believes that. So they say he's been easy to talk to. He's been cool, calm, collected, which is, again, crazy. If lawyers are saying he's been cool, calm, collected, he believes he's going to be exonerated, then somebody else says he told them in jail that he slashed them, he cut them, and he'll cut you too. It's just crazy. So yeah. But yeah, again, the FBI, they arrested Kohberger at his parents' home in Albersville, Pennsylvania, nearly 7 weeks after Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Zaina Coronado were stabbed to death on November 13th in a rental home near their campus. Now, Kohberger, he's supposed to appear in Monroe County Court for extradition hearing Tuesday, which is today. And his parents and sisters are expected to be in court with him. LeBar The attorney said his client, who was studying at WSU's Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology, will agree to return to Moscow, Idaho, where he's charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of felony burglary. Now, what I learned so far, they're alleging that he was following, basically stalking these students. That's what they're saying now, that he was stalking these students, because they're saying where his phone pinged was also where some of those students, they had the same pings, like in the same area. So the 4 students who were murdered, where their phone was pinging, they said his phone was also pinging. They still don't know why he did it. They still don't know if he really knew these students, but they're saying basically now that he was stalking them. And they're also saying that he could be linked to other unsolved murders. Okay? They saying that he could be linked to other unsolved crimes. And that is very interesting also, because I heard them mention on the news, I think it was last week, can't remember what station, but they were saying a lot, not a lot, but sometimes people will take up these classes, these college classes, these college courses in college for the main goal of learning about criminology, about how to solve crimes, about how to cover up crimes, about, I mean, just different things like that. They learn basically how to help solve crimes and what things to look for if they're going into like that field, but then they use it to go out here and commit crimes. So they use it for their own personal advantage. Yes, that's what they're saying, that he is possibly not just with these 4 people, because you know a serial killer, if you kill more than several, you automatically become a serial killer. So they're also saying that he could be responsible for more murders. Yes. Ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. And for them to say that he was stalking his victims, that's pretty scary. That's pretty scary for them not to know that they're being stalked, because they're basically saying that where his phone was pinging, so were these students' phones pinging. As if he might have been driving around, following them around the campus, hiding up in the cut at restaurants, at the malls. You know, they're not really putting out where he was stalking him or where the pings were or anything like that. They're just saying they have the compare his phone, his timeline, his whereabouts, compared it to the students' whereabouts in their timelines. And a lot of the times, these college students and this man was allegedly in the same exact areas. But again, Bryan Kohberger believes that he is going to be exonerated, even though they said that he said in jail that he did it. That's child. Again, like I said, I hope they have it recorded in jail that he said this, because once they arrest you and read you your rights, anything that you say, anything that you say to NT1 could affect the outcome of your case. You said the gloves everywhere he went proves that was you gonna I think you were gonna finish that or something. Maybe you hit enter too soon. But yeah, you proves that I don't want to guess what you were going to say, so I'll wait till you finish your comment. But this is so sad. I mean, if it was him, if it was somebody else, it is so sad. It is extremely a horrible situation for these college students. You send your kids off to college, and you expect for them to go and learn and come home for the holidays, get their degree, you know, explore, living away from home, meeting new friends, just you don't look or think for one moment that they're going to end up murdered on campus or things like that. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I had my sons in college, um, one of them was here locally, and the other one was out of state. And I did for a while before I sent him off to school. I did have worries, but it wasn't about being murdered or nothing like that. It was more of them getting, how some schools they they are like party schools, and that's a lot. That's a lot of school. It's hard to find a school these days that they don't call like a party school. We have a lot of party schools here locally as well. But that was one thing that I was worried about, concerned about, was him getting involved with drinking or involved with drugs or anything like that. And I did have a scare one time. One time I did have a scare with my oldest son when he was out of state at college, and he had hit us up at probably, I don't know, I want to say 2, 3 in the morning, and he was just like, "Mom," and that's all he said. And I'm like, I was asleep, obviously. So when I woke up at like 6 or whatever to get ready for work, I saw the text message, or I think it was an inbox on Facebook. And I saw the text message, and all it said was "Mom." So I'm getting up, getting ready for the day. My youngest son, who was still in high school, he's getting up, getting ready for the day. And I tell my son, I'm like, "Did your brother hit you up last night too?" Because he hit me up, and all he said was "Mom" at like 2 in the morning. So he was like, "No." So I started calling my son, texting him, inboxing him, "What's up, son? We were asleep. What's up? What's good?" No response. So I called, no response. So all through the day, I'm getting more and more worried because I can't reach him. And he hit me at 2 a.m. talking about "Mom," and that's it. So I'm calling, texting. Then I call like his roommate. I talk to his roommate's mom because you exchange all that information when you first bring your kids to the dorm. Let me get your mom's information. Let me get they mom get my information, whatever. And so nobody knew where this boy was. So then I start calling security on campus. It was a very scary situation. Very scary situation. Boy, when I tell you, this child told me that he was in class, but security couldn't find him. And so come to find out later, the boy had stayed out basically all night partying and stuff. And he was just hitting us up to see how we was doing at 2 a.m. in the morning. And then went home and slept the whole day away. Missed class and everything. But that scared the shit out of me. And I was like, "Man, if you try this shit one more time, I'm snatching your butt home, bring you back here, and you're going to go to some small community college or something like that." Because that scared the shit out of me. And I thought something was really wrong, or that, somebody had done something to him. So it can be really scary at times sending your kids off to college. And so my heart goes out, I said it before, to this family who's lost those students. I really hope that this arrest is going to bring them peace and resolve this whole mystery. And I really hope they find out, like, was this just random? Did he really know these people? Is he really just a serial killer who just stalks his victims and just kills them for no reason? Did he kill other people? Did all that information, all that knowledge he gained from taking those courses, did that help him kill other people, like they are under the impression now that he might have killed other people? I guess we shall see. We shall soon see. You say, "Yes, I was more worried about being responsible and not blindly following up." And that's what happens. That's what happens to kids in college. It's the peer pressure is real. Shoot, y'all think it's real in high school? In college, it's like every other person is doing some type of drug. Some of them real hard drugs and some of them just weed. But Doreen said he probably took them classes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, they did say that he took those classes. Yep. And they did say he took those classes. But yeah, he again he has been arrested. He's in jail. He's been booked and all type of stuff. But let me go back over here to this. Hold on 1 second. 1 second, y'all.
Investigators are combing through every aspect of suspect Bryan Kohberger's life as they try to piece together a possible motive in the murders of 4 University of Idaho college students.
We're trying to build this picture now of him, who he is, his history, how we got to this event.
Law enforcement sources say FBI agents tracked the 28-year-old's movements days leading up to his arrest at his parents' home in eastern Pennsylvania. It's located more than 2,500 miles from the house in Moscow, Idaho, where Kohberger is accused of stabbing Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin while they were sleeping on November 13th. Gonzalez's father says the arrest brings some relief.
This is the first bit of joy that we've had in close to 7 weeks. We hope they picked the right guy, and that gives us hope, and we haven't had hope for a long time.
Kohberger is a PhD criminology student at Washington State University and lived in Pullman, Washington, about a 15-minute drive from the victims. Police haven't found a murder weapon or said if Kohberger knew the students. Law enforcement sources say forensic analysis allegedly linked him to the murders. The public defender representing Kohberger in the extradition says about a month after the murders, his client went on a road trip home to Pennsylvania with his father that was planned at the beginning of the semester. They were in a white Hyundai Elantra, is the same make and model of the vehicle spotted near the scene of the murders.
The police department believes that the person we have in custody, which would be Kohberger, is the one who's responsible for these crimes.
In their first statement, the family of Bryan Kohberger said they care deeply for the 4 families who have lost children. They also said they are fully cooperating with police in an attempt to seek the truth and promote his presumption of innocence. Danya Backus, CBS News.
So yes, he again. They saying that the Bryan Kohberger was stalking his victims. They claim that they have all the proof they need. Basically, they had a friend of the cops. I don't know again if that friend was actually some type of law enforcement or just some friend, some homie that they knew had been following him, which I would hope they wouldn't do that, because I'll be damned if my friend be a cop and they be like, hey, girl, there's this guy up there in your neck of the woods. You think you can follow him, keep tabs on him, record him? Like, you can't pay me enough. Especially if y'all really believe that he killed 4 students, 4 people. We shall see. We shall see. Family again, they are cooperating. They're fully cooperating with police, even though they believe they're shocked. They don't believe that their family member, that Bryan, did this. They don't believe it at all. They don't believe it at all. CBS just reported on it. It's like they're doing updates all on all the channels right now. They're doing updates. One thing I want to say, let me find it real quick. Okay, the last thing I wanted to say. Here it is. Okay, the last thing I wanted to say, I don't know if y'all heard this or not, but forensic psychiatrist is saying that Bryan Kohberger battled with cannibalistic urges. Child, I'm like, what? he was battling with cannibalistic urges. From what a news report is saying, the man charged in connection with the slayings of 4 University of Idaho students, which is Bryan Kohberger, battled with cannibalistic urges. That's what a forensic psychiatrist is saying. They're saying that this man, this stuff is getting weirder and weirder. Like, did he actually go there to slay them and eat them? Okay, in the days since his arrest, more details is coming out about his life, including how he followed a very strict vegan diet and had reportedly struggled with heroin addiction in the past. He also says that Kohberger's reported obsessive compulsive eating habits indicate he was afraid he would become addicted to meat if he ate it. He was not only vegan, he refused to eat off of pots or plates that had meat on them. This represents a struggle against his cannibalistic urges. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit, y'all? Child. You said, sorry, friend, I cannot find. Thank you. Jeffrey Dahmer revised cannibalism. Yes. Doreen. So people who don't like meat, because I know people who don't like their food to touch each other, but they saying people who don't like meat on their plates, they don't like meat, eat off of pots that have meat in it, plates that have meat on it, might be struggling with cannibalistic urges. They said he was afraid if he let himself go to taste meat once, he would become addicted to it like he had become with heroin and start killing and eating people. They said his dietary restrictions were very, very weird and that he seemed very OCD. And they said a woman who asked not to be named, but said she was previously married to Kohberger's family, said it was above being just a vegan. They said his aunt and uncle had to buy new pots and pans because he would not eat off from anything that he had meat cooked in them. Child, he wouldn't be eating at my house because every pan in my house that probably has some type of meat in it. His aunt and uncles had to buy new pots and pans because he refused to eat from anything that had meat cooked in them. Wow. That's crazy. But yeah, they say he struggled with drug addiction, continued into his college years. That's what a friend of his said from Northampton Community College. But Kohberger has been held without bond in Pennsylvania since his arrest. And he's eager to be exonerated on these charges and looking forward to resolving these matters as promptly as possible. Again, last thing, Kohberger's family, again, as we mentioned before, they have been fully cooperating with the police. They also expressed their sympathy for the victims' families and said that they will continue to support Kohberger, which is their family member, who they believe did not do this. And they said they will fully promote his presumption of innocence, even though they understandably have compassion and sympathy for the victim's family. They said, we care, and I say this in quotes, they said they care deeply for the 4 families who have lost their precious children. There are no words that we can adequately express the sadness we feel, and we pray each day for them. And I do believe they are sincere with that because, again, like I said, it's kind of hard not to have sympathy for somebody who has been killed, even though they're saying it's from your loved one that you believe did do it. You still feel, I mean, as a human being, you still feel compassion, and sympathy for the victims. So Yeah. But they said his family said they're going to continue to let the legal process unfold. As a family, they will continue to love and support their son and brother. They also included they also included that they have fully cooperated with law enforcement in a bid to seek the truth and promote his presumption of innocence rather than judge unknown facts and make erroneous assumptions. And when they say unknown facts and erroneous assumptions, I must say they're probably speaking of stuff like the cannibalistic urges that he was battling, things like that. So that's what I'm going to assume as one of the erroneous assumptions or unknown facts that his family might be getting at. But Joy said he'd be done starved to death and my family waiting on news. Thank you, child. Thank you. Shoot. I'm like, I don't know if I can find one pan in my house that didn't have a meat on it, a chicken, a bacon, a sausage, something. Yes, thumbs up, thumbs up. This is a crazy story, and we are gathering more and more information. And I will continue to follow this story. We'll continue to discuss it. And again, I hope they got the right man. I really do hope they have the right man. For the sake of the family, for the sake of those who were killed and their loved ones, and also for the sake of that community. Because keep in mind that almost half of the college students who were at that school, they left school and started taking online classes or just left, period. So, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Even if they got this guy in custody down there saying that he did it, I still probably wouldn't come back to campus until I was absolutely sure that they got the right person behind this and absolutely sure that he is the only one behind this. Keep in mind, he killed 4 students in one home. And they have no surveillance on him at the home. All they have is surveillance of him being followed around, wearing gloves and acting very weird and extra careful. And then that white car that they had on camera. So we don't know if it was more than one person. We don't know if it was more than one person. Don't know that. But you know how the police is. They keep some information very close to their chest. I need to turn off this doggone notification. This thing is going crazy. But there we go. So we keep a lot of things close to their chest. Like for a while, I'm thinking, hey, is they ever gonna find out who this guy is? Like who killed these people? And they act like they didn't have no information, nothing to go on there. All of a sudden, out the blue, they got this car that was seen. And then it seemed like out the blue, there's an arrest made. So I know I heard somebody else said, I hope they're not using this guy as a scapegoat. I hope they really got, factual information and proof. Because obviously they don't seem to have any witnesses. So I just hope that all the evidence and everything that they have really, really, really leads back to this man. And if it's not him, then I hope they find the real suspect very, very soon. Very soon. Because other lives could be in danger. But I know you guys, that is my little update, my little commentary on the latest information and details that they have been putting out into the news for these 4 Idaho college students, the slayings of these 4 college students, allegedly by Bryan Kohberger. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your new year and had a blessed and great holiday season all the way back from Thanksgiving all the way through to the first of the year. Make sure you like and share. Stay safe. Be blessed. Stay safe. Always remain vigilant at all times. I'll tell y'all that last part because look at the world we live in. Look at what happens. Look at what we see on the news every day. So always remain vigilant at all times. And always remember, keep it hood. Thank you, Joy. Enjoy your day too. Love you guys. I'm out.